my son was a bit younger, and we used to go and play football in the park, and with him and his mates or his sister, who's a similar age, we used to go and play football. I was the best player. I mean, literally men against boys. I was the best player for a little bit. And then I started to get knackered because I'm old and they're young, so they carry on running round. So in the end, you're blowing a little bit. You score a couple of goals and then they start clawing it back and they don't stop running. Oh, quite annoying. And then you get so knackered you can barely even kick the ball. So what you resort to as a dad is you start to pull their shirt or they start to run away from you and you grab the back of their shirt and you pull them back or you sort of lean on them a little bit. You basically use your experience and some of the darker arts of football to try and get yourself through the game. That's if I paint that picture, there'll be a lot of you who know what I'm talking about. That's how I felt Mark Noble started off that game. Oh, it worried the hell out of me. Because he couldn't stop Jesse Lingard from going past him, he sort of pulled his shirt to stop him. It wasn't the only time he pulled someone's shirt during the game. Because he couldn't stop someone dribbling past him, he sort of fouled them. Now, there's always room in every game for a little bit of a professional foul and to break up play. But when you start doing it early because you can't keep up with the pace of the game, then you're bang in trouble, quite frankly, because you're going to get an early booking. And it was a worry. And that was my worry. But I tell you what, I got it wrong. Because actually, whilst that did happen, and whilst he was sort of struggling at the start, it didn't transpire that he was struggling at the end. In fact, right near the end, he sprinted to catch up with Jared Bowen to get a shot and goal, to help Jared Bowen create a 2-on-1 against the goalkeeper, Henderson. Didn't score, but you know what, that's fine. The fact that he got up there, and actually was full of energy the whole game. And what was a concern for me, as I say, didn't actually manifest itself to be one. I thought Mark Noble did magnificently in that midfield, alongside Alex Crowell, and for most of the game, by the way, Lanzini, until I thought he was quite cynically injured. It has to be said. I think I said a lot in the review after the game about Manchester United's sort of cheating and twice they should have given us back the ball. They didn't give us back the ball. The feigning of injury, the sort of Matic in particular, as I mentioned in the review, kneeing Soufal and the Niagaras and injuring Lanzini. Even Old Trafford injured one of our players. The stadium itself fouled Ryan Fredericks, but it was okay. We came through and we were victorious. And I thought some of the we'll have a little chat about some of the debuts and in just a second. I thought obviously the draws happened since then to give it a bit of context. So it's Man City up next, and you know what? It's not ideal, and certainly the news came through while I was doing the review, and I felt a little bit deflated. I sort of carried on going on the review, but I felt a little bit deflated. I was saying to everyone, "Don't worry about it," you know what I mean? Be positive. But inside, I was thinking, "Oh, that's crap," because I was worried about it. I'll tell you one man who won't be worried about it, and that's David Moyes. I don't think David Moyes will really care. Would he have preferred Grimsby at home? Yes, I'm pretty sure he would. But he will fancy himself. He really will. As I said before, we all laughed when David Moyes rocked up and said, "I'm a winner." And we're not laughing now. David Moyes, it was only us that didn't believe him. He believed himself in his press conference, said, "I'm a winner, I win football matches." He thinks it. He will actually fancy himself to concoct some system to try and beat Manchester City. I mean, they're so good. I mean, they are so good. When you can have Phil Foden and what's his kind of Bernardo Silva, and I mean, just it's pointless going through them. Or when you can have those players as your reserves, I mean, that's even better than what we saw from Manchester United reserves, who I thought had a pretty damn good team out on the pitch. But as I say, David Moyes won't be worried about this at all. So look, bring it on in that sense. I guess I'd rather be in the competition than not, and I wouldn't swap that victory against Manchester United, for that, just so as we didn't have to face Manchester City. No, not at all. Particularly bearing in mind how Manchester United played. I think they needed they played so dirty and they were such a bunch of cheats. I think they you know, unfortunately, the rules, there's no VAR, they couldn't be punished. So it's up to West Ham to punish them by kicking them out of the competition. That's another trophy that Solskjaer can't win. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy about it, to be perfectly honest with you. Before I insult anybody else, may I just refer you to the OneFootball app, which is downloadable in the link below. Just click on it, download it to your mobile device. People say mobile device, but it's a phone, really. Just download it to your phone. What else is a mobile device that's not a phone? A wallet. A wallet's a mobile device. You can't download it to your wallet, though. Download it to your phone. You can tailor it to your own specifications, so you can only get the West Ham news if that's all you want, and it'll ping it and deliver all the condensed West Ham news to your phone. The app is free. As I say, click in the link below. They very kindly sponsor lots of our videos, which is very jolly nice of them. Okay, Areola. Let's have a chat about Areola. Very springy, like I said, rubbery, bouncy, athletic, twisty. He's an athlete, isn't he? He's got a lot of bounce. It's not bad. Like Zebedee. Really good. Really good. Tigger. That's what I'm looking at. Not Zebedee, is it? It's Tigger in I'm Winnie the Pooh. Always bouncing around. Very good. And I thought it was quite noticeable. He looked, I don't mean this is to detract from Fabianski, I really don't. But he looked young, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? He looked young and bouncy and athletic. So, you know, look, made some decent saves, made some decent contributions, but still felt Henderson was the busier keeper. Let's be perfectly fair. Alex Crowell, yeah, okay. I mean, it's hard to say. I didn't really know what he was, and I think I should. I've not really watched him play much. He's very good at tackling, isn't he? The interception is very good. He's totally David Moyes type player, isn't he? You can understand why Moyes would want him. Just his work rate just doesn't stop. I don't know what they. I was going to say I don't know what they feed these Czech lads, but we do know it's potato salad. He's obviously been on a potato salad as well. I reckon he's fermenting a potato salad. They're making something saucy out of it as well. He was very good. He was very, very good. Yeah, I mean, as I said in the review, if the buyout clause is 12 million, no brainer really, isn't it? And he just looks like, if he's happy to play that role, which will be a West Ham reserve, which he is, then bring it on. I'm really, really happy with that. And, you know, I've got no worries anymore about him coming into the team. So I say anymore, I just hadn't seen him. I need to see a bit more, but he's such a workaholic, you don't need to worry about him, you know. I mean, the other guy that's, again, I'm just not sure, is Vlasic. I'm just not sure yet. I haven't seen enough. But you know what? You look at him, he's another Moyes player. He won't stop working. He doesn't stop running. And it's quite funny, actually. You look at these other players that aren't Moyes signings, like Yarmolenko, who we spoke about, and you think, well, actually, you're going to have to do that sort of stuff, the sort of stuff that Crowell will do, the stuff that Souček will do, the stuff that Bowen will do in abundance, and Crowell's done. Actually, the players that weren't signed by David Moyes, you're going to have to do that. It's quite clear. Whoever Moyes brings in is going to put in a massive shift. And let's just have a little word about Yarmolenko, because look, Yarmolenko was brilliant. I thought everyone was brilliant, but Yarmolenko wasn't brilliant because he was skillful. Yarmolenko was brilliant because he put in a shift. He did not stop running. I didn't think he had it in him. I've got to be honest with you. I really didn't think he would have been able to do that sort of shift. I said in yesterday's video this was his last chance. Otherwise he won't play again. Well, he will play again now. Because I tell you what, Moyes will trust him. Moyes will now look at him and think, actually, I trust you to put in a shift. I know you can do it. And I just think putting in that level of effort probably gives someone like Yarmolenko an enormous amount of confidence as well. For him to... You're going to want to feel included. You're going to feel one of the lads. And you're only going to feel one of the lads if you're putting in the same effort as everybody else. Because I tell you what, if you know, you've all been there, right? You've all been at work, and you're putting in loads of effort, and someone's just disappearing. They take the mickey. They disappear to the loo more often than they go into the loo. You know, you're doing solid work, working through the hour every hour until you get to your lunch break. Yep, there's someone there who's working 45 minutes of every hour, because every 15 minutes are going out for a fag break. You get to the end of the day and you've basically worked 2 hours longer than they have. You've all worked. You know what it's like. It creates resentment, doesn't it, at work? It really does. And that's going to create resentment at West Ham. If you're looking at your stats, and every time you look at your stats and you've run 8 kilometres in a game, and so's he, and so's Fornals, and so's Bowen, and you're looking at someone else and he's run 5, you're going to say, hold on a second, mate. It's going to cause resentment. So I think it's good for Yarmolenko to show that he can do that, and I thought he was really, really good. I haven't got a bad word to say against any player, on that. Really good. Really pleased for two centre halves. Those two centre halves probably not going to be our first choice centre halves, are they? But it's nice to know that we can rely on those boys as and when they're called for. And you know what? They will be called for at least once more in the League Cup, and certainly plenty in Europe. Chuffed with that. Wasn't bothered about the League Cup before. Now I am. I'm really, really pleased. That has made my Wednesday, the end of Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's mostly gone. But I tell you what, it's made my Thursday. There we go. Enjoy Thursday.